come on in. Hi everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Squishmallows Paigey here and I'm doing a Q&A video for my first video. I'm so excited. Thank you all so much for watching and joining me today. I'm so excited to read these questions. You guys went absolutely crazy on my Instagram this afternoon and I'm so excited to read some of these questions. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first question is, what started your Squishmallow addiction? I talk about this a lot. My first Squishmallow I actually bought after a really hard day at work. I was working at Woolworths and someone had yelled at me about something, and my first Squishmallow was actually 5-inch Ophelia, which was a really lucky squish to get as my first one, and I traded that away, but then I got Ophelia back through another friend, Hunter. Thank you so much, Hunter. What started my Squishmallow addiction was probably that first squish and how comforting they were and soft they were, and how they look is just so gorgeous, and I just love squishing them, and they are definitely just like something to keep and collect and look at. The second question is my favorite squish. Now, this question I get quite a lot on my Instagram, and honestly, it changes all the time. Right now, my favorite squish is probably my 12-inch Balena, but I love all of my cow squish so much. They are definitely my favorite type of squish, but my non-cow favorite squish is probably Santino, just because Santino is such a collector's item, and a really good friend of mine traded him with me and I was really grateful. So yeah, probably my cows as my favorite Squishmallows and 12-inch Balena as my favorite right now. And overall, probably 12-inch Santino. Question 3 is my favorite food Squishmallow. Now, I don't have many food Squishmallows, but my favorite food Squishmallow is obviously Malcolm. Who doesn't love Malcolm? I have Malcolm in an 8-inch and a 5-inch, and I love him so much. He's gorgeous. And I love the new fuzzy top Malcolms. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the fuzzy top Malcolms compared to the printed top Malcolms. But yeah, my favorite food squish is definitely Malcolm. The fourth question is, if you were to collect something besides Squishmallows, what would it be? Now, I have talked about this in my Get to Know Me post on Instagram, but I do collect, or I used to collect Build-A-Bears, and that was my first like plushie collection. I started collecting them when I was 10, and at its peak, I probably had around 30 or 40. It was a lot, but I didn't build them all. I used to go to op shops like Goodwill and Savers, and I would collect them from there. People had donated them. And so at my peak, I had about 30 or 40, which was so many. And I've still got a few now, OG plushies that I used to collect, which is really nice and sentimental. But yeah, if I had to collect something other than Squishmallows, it would probably be Build-A-Bears. I also went through a phase of Beanie Boos, which are the really wide-eyed toys that TY does after the Beanie Babies phase. And I did collect those for a little while as well. But yeah, definitely Build-A-Bears would be my second go-to collecting. The next question is, aren't you worried of what people will think of you for your Squishmallow collection? Now, I do sometimes get a little bit embarrassed with like school friends and people that I like know in real life, knowing that I collect, like I have a whole secret life, it seems, of my Squishmallows. But in general, everyone who matters to me in my life and is my friend or my family member, they are super supportive of me collecting Squishmallows. I do have a few friends who also decided to collect, so it's a really nice, positive environment that I surround myself. The next question is, what made you start your channel? My friend Hannah at Hannah's Plushies on Instagram had created a channel for a little while, and it was always something that I wanted to do because I really wanted to be one-on-one with my followers, and I really like talking, as you can imagine. I was excited to start a YouTube channel, and there aren't really many Squishmallow collectors who have a YouTube channel, so I thought that I would start that, and I was, really sort of looking forward to being able to talk to people and be more one-on-one with people, take you guys on my hunts and my hauls and show you my collection, and I was really just looking for that one-on-one experience. I had a young girl who I went to school with message me and said, you should start a YouTube channel, and I was like, I should start a YouTube channel. So thank you, Matilda, so much. The next question on my Q&A is, what was your first Squishmallow? As I said in the first question, my first Squishmallow was my 5-inch Ophelia, which I think is pretty lucky. I no longer have the original 5-inch Ophelia that I bought, but I do have another 5-inch Ophelia that's not the original, but still a nice squish to have because I know it was my first. The next question is, why did you get into collecting? I got into collecting because I was phasing out of my Build-A-Bear phase and I needed something smaller and more compact. When I first started collecting, I thought only the 5-inch Squishmallows existed. And I was like, oh, like this is something that I could get into. And it really just picked up from there. I sort of started collecting at the peak of their TikTok sort of like career. And I didn't really realize how popular they were. So when we went to stores, we could never find them. And it was like, wow, this is crazy, like it's a phenomenon. And I had a friend at Hannah's Plushies on Instagram who had started like a whole Squishmallow Instagram, and I was like, this is something I need to get onto. So yeah, definitely thanks to Han, I definitely grew my collection from there. And the last question is, what is your favorite and least favorite Squishmallow size? My favorite size is depending on what I'm doing with them. My 5-inch Squishmallows are my favorite for going on trips and going in my bag. The 8-inch are the perfect like car buddy size and cuddle size. The 12-inch is the perfect bed buddy, like a pillow. And the 16-inch I usually just display. I don't have many 16-inch just because they take up so much room, and I only really use them on my bed when I'm not sleeping on it. And I only have 2 16-inches. I have about 9 12-inches, and then the rest are 8-inch and 5-inch. So I have a lot more 8-inch and 5-inch than those 2 other big sizes, just because they aren't so practical for going out. It's more like at home, and because I'm so like active and moving around, and I was going to school regularly, and I go out and I go to the shops and I walk, I need something that's a little bit more small so it can fit into a backpack. Thank you so much everyone for joining my Q&A today. I really loved hearing your questions. Definitely keep them coming, and I'll do a second Q&A. I'm really looking forward to making more content on my YouTube and making a get to know me video, a squad video, and taking you guys on my hauls in the new year. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day.